I haven't been able to find very many games that have been able to push me to the same emotional, gut-wrenching feeling like watching Joel try to comfort his dying daughter as she cries out in fear after being shot.
Please. I know, baby. I know. Sarah.
Welcome to The Novelist. A story following a troubled family of three. After a short-lived success since his first book, Dan was struggling to write his follow-up when he decided to move his family to a secluded beach house, as an effort to avoid any further distraction. As the player, you take control over a mysterious ghost or spirit that inhabits the house, an observer of events with very little to do in terms of actually changing things. You'll spend your time eavesdropping into the characters' lives, listening to their wants and desires, browsing journal entries, reading their minds, and even peering into distant memories of better times. In each chapter, you're given a choice to make, and after gathering all the relevant information, you then whisper your decision into the ear of Dan while he sleeps. The next morning, you're given a bit of dialogue of the outcome of your choice, and the story continues based off of that. I thought nothing of this at first, but right away I was presented with a scenario that left me feeling uneasy, and after spending time getting to know the family, I found that making this choice wasn't exactly as easy as I had once thought. Dan is struggling to write his second book, faced with writer's block and the fear of not being able to support his family, but at the same time his wife Linda felt as though he was neglecting her. A divorce was obviously lingering in the air, and Linda was beginning to feel less important to him than the words on those pages. Their son Tommy spent the last year of school being bullied and failing all of his classes. He wanted nothing more than to spend time with the one person he looked up to more than anything else in the world, his father. Should I give Dan the time he needs to work past this writer's block and finish the book, or do I have him throw his work to the side to spend quality time with Linda? And then there was Tommy. He was feeling lost and alone and wanted to play a game with his father. Do I have Dan neglect his wife for his work to support the family, attempt to save his crumbling marriage of Linda, or neglect his wife to spend time with his son? You only get one choice per chapter and are left to deal with the consequences of that action. There's also another story hidden in the house with clues and newspaper clippings to be found that include details about your own story, how you came to be what you are now, and how to possibly set yourself free from being forced to haunt this house forever. Overall, this is a pretty defining moment for gaming. The graphics are pretty rich, the setting is a simple 3-bedroom house, and the story consists of just a handful of chapters all leading to a conclusion. In the end, I found that the choices I made during the game honestly didn't seem to have too much of an impact as I thought they would. Nothing on the level of Mass Effect, that's for sure. But making the choices I did and watching the outcomes, I found that this story meant so much more to me on a personal level, because I was no longer playing to find out what happens to Dan and his family. Instead, I was coming to terms with finally making choices for myself again. It's so odd to say that something as simple as a piece of media, a video game no less, is what helped me get through it all, but after reading other players' reviews and hearing their stories of struggle, I realized that even though I had felt so alone in those couple of months, I wasn't. I was able to move past the very thing that was holding me back. While being far from perfect, this game does have its flaws, but it's something that you'll want to experience at least once. The Novelist is 1,000 miles away from anything else I've ever played, and after investing just a few short hours into it, I'm sure there is something for everyone to be found within this story, as long as you're willing to look.